Hey everybody, welcome to another night of Wednesday night OWCP chats with that guy Chris and me, Gini.
What's up?
All right, don't forget that there's only one person on. It's okay.
We just got here. More people are going to show up. Let's go.
How is everyone doing? All right, let's is everybody on? Let's see. Let's see if we're on. Yeah, we're on. Okay. There we go.
Everyone's coming on. Let's get going. Good evening, everyone. It's Chris and Gini, Wednesday night OWCP chats. I won't do the squealing thing because it's not in my repertoire. If you ever hear me do that, somebody just put a gun to the back of my head and put me out of your misery. So normally she talks more, so I'm just going to get right to it. If you were watching our makeup channel earlier, you saw that she was doing makeup videos, and so we got started late here and had all kinds of technical difficulties, which is awesome. My website is back up, so take a look at breakingowcp.com and hit the play button. That'll move a lot better. It always works better when you hit play. So go to breakingowcp.com and you can get my books that I wrote just for you. And they give you all the information you need in, sort of in a format that you can understand, because OWCP is like the most confusing thing ever. So there are actually 3 books. This is number 2 and 3. Number 1 is only on PDF. And that's because there's a special section in there called Rules, Laws, and Regulations that you cannot have sitting on your nightstand at home if you get in trouble at work. I want you to download it to your phone and put your phone in your pocket, and then you're putting Breaking OWCP in your pocket. A lot of people have said to me, but Chris, I want paperback copies. I know you do. Thousands of you did. But this is sort of the next phase of this. And eventually, volume 2 and 3 will only be PDF. So if you want those in paper book, get them now. They will sell out. And at that point, I'm going to go PDF only, because the goal is for you to have it at the moment you need it. If I just cared about myself and what's the word? What is the word? You like to look in the mirror a lot, and it'll come to me later. But if all I cared about was me, I'd say, hey, sell more books. But I want you to get the cheap version on PDF, because the point is to put it on your phone, okay, and put your phone in your pocket. When your supervisors try to tell you something that's not right, you can go right to the chapter that addresses their mistake, and you can handle it right then. So go to www.breakingowcp.com. And there's volume 1, 2, and 3. They're all in PDF. Volume 2 and 3 has paperback. Volume 2 is going to sell out faster than 3. And once they're gone, they're gone. I'm going to make it strictly PDF, but that's in your best interest. I know there's not a lot of excitement. Some people like to have books on their bookshelf, but I want you to put books in your phone. That's the best way to have these particular books. So breakingowcp.com. Where are we going?
Okay. We are sharing. So share, and share some more. Okay. So next week we are going to Savannah, Georgia. We got invited to the Bureau of Prison National Convention. We are just vendors. We are not training. So those of you that are in the prison, come by and say hi.
That work in the prison. If you're in the prison, go ahead and stay behind bars. The rest of you, come on out and see us. And if you're in the Savannah area, come and see us. We're going to be there. Where are we going to be?
Where are they having it? The Hyatt Regency Savannah.
Yeah, so we're going to have a booth there. I'll have almost no responsibility whatsoever, which means come to the table. We'll just sit and talk. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there just answering random questions from everybody that's at the convention. And we're really excited. Going to a prison convention is not like anything else because there's women, obviously, but I'm setting them to the side because it's a little different. With the men. The men are all like linebackers, defensive ends, and
they're like 10 feet tall
and professional wrestlers. They're like enormous giants.
Yeah.
And still they get hurt, because when you're asking them, how do you guys get hurt? They basically say, well, we fight for a living. And when you fight, there's an injury that happens even if you win the fight. And I'm sure these guys win the fights for sure, because they're enormous. But we're going to be there helping them with their OWCP issues. And we're really excited. That's part of AFGE. And we really, really appreciate being able to be involved and help AFGE. The way we are APWU with the clerks at the post office, it's really nice to have groups that trust us to teach them what's going on with OWCP. So come check us out next week at the Hyatt Regency Savannah.
Yeah.
All right.
Something like that. And then we're excited to say we'll be in Salt Lake City the following week.
What about Texas?
There's nothing. Don't worry about that.
We're going to be in Texas.
Yeah, we're going to be in Texas after Savannah. So we're only going to be in Savannah Monday night, Tuesday, and we leave Wednesday night to come back home because we're home for a day. And then we go to Texas and we come back home and we're home for 3 days. And then we go to my favorite place, Salt Lake City.
But in Texas, we have a big meeting at the VA hospital in Dallas. It's the second largest VA in the country, right behind DC. And so we're excited for the opportunity to be able to tell them how we can help.
Yeah.
And if you work for a VA hospital, just know we can help you. We do a lot of work in the VAs here in Florida and are doing a lot of good work getting cases accepted. Because, you know, at VA hospitals, your supervisors in HR tell you have to go to the VA doctor. And no offense to them, they're world-class doctors. You've all heard me say it. But they don't get claims accepted because they're not trained in OWCP. So, you know, we're able to show you how to get your claim accepted, even if you're a VA employee.
Yeah. Okay. So don't forget to share, like, follow, subscribe, click the bell, and all of that stuff. And
definitely click the bell.
I am going to be doing a Wednesday night OWCP Chats TikTok page. So I'm super excited. I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Oh, and I started breaking OWCP TikTok page.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to use TikTok. So the other day I spent more than 8 hours watching TikTok videos, just trying to figure out, like, what are people doing here? And it's addicting. So do yourself a favor. When you find my TikTok page, don't follow anybody else, just me.
Oh, God.
And then you won't be addicted to TikTok. It is insanely funny. There's so many funny things on TikTok. It's unbelievable. It's just like, for the night, I didn't watch TV or anything. I just looked at TikTok until my phone battery was dead. So I think I got some pretty good ideas, and we're going to start doing breaking OWCP TikTok as well.
So we know that the NALC National Convention is going on. We know that the APW convention is going on.
We're not there, as you can see. We're at home.
We know that the Bureau of Prison convention is going on next week because we're going to be there. So we're super excited to see all of our scary looking prison folks.
Well, they're not scary to me, but to somebody they are for sure.
And so, okay, so tonight we have two things going on. Tonight, we're going to have a special guest. It's an orthopedic surgeon out of the Norwood office
in Massachusetts.
He's going to come on. He's not going to be on here long because he's got stuff going on.
Yeah, he'll be on for like 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to him about what he's doing up there to help you.
And then tonight, we're going to focus on second opinion doctors. A lot of you have been calling and messaging me on Wednesday night chats and federal injury centers asking about, why do I have to have a second opinion doctor? Can I choose my own second opinion doctor? Some of you are upset with your second opinion doctors and want to choose your own. So we're going to go ahead and cover all of that tonight. So tonight we are on Wednesday night OWCP chats, federal injury centers, breaking OWCP. We're on YouTube. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, hello. And if you have any questions, go ahead and write your questions inside the comments in anything, and we're going to read them. But before we do that, I'm going to continue sharing a few more to a few more pages. So are you. Probably October. October. Remember last year or 2 years ago, we were doing share giveaways. And because of the holidays are coming up, we're going to do that probably October.
And that's a lot of fun. We love doing it.
Yeah, October, November, December. And those of you that don't know what we're talking about, you're going to share. And the person that has the most shares normally gets a $100 gift card of your choice. And we just go ahead and email your gift card over to you the very next day. So that's going to start in October. We're going to start promoting that. So we're looking forward to that because of the fact the holidays are coming, and we all know what happens. Started the end of September, all USPS employees are going crazy because they got packages to start already to deliver and all that fun stuff that you guys do at the post office. So with that said, what are we going to start with first? Are we going to do the doctor, or are we going to...
If he's not on, then I have a great topic anyways that I'm spending most of my time on. So if he gets on, we'll see that he gets on, and then we'll let him in. And if not, we will do the topic anyways. I'm going to get started on the topic when you're ready.
So we're going to talk about second opinions. Grab your paper and let's talk about it. You will see once we get the flash on our side that the doctor's on, he'll be invited in, and then we'll go from there. We'll stop talking about second opinions. We may run a little over an hour because Dr. Rob will be on. And all right, let's get started. Oh, wait. Don't forget, get your drink, my giant martini glass from Mango's. I have Sprite in it.
You know, many of you that follow this all the time have heard me say it's going to be that kind of night.
Oh yeah, with my Sprite.
It's going to be that kind of night. With the eek at the front and that gigantor glass now. Okay.
Melissa Peterson from Federal Injury Centers of Roscoe, Illinois is on YouTube. Hello, Melissa.
So Roscoe is like right near the border, right? Below Wisconsin, close to Madison.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we've had a lot of people around the Madison, Wisconsin area. One of my friends in particular that's a rural carrier has had a lot of trouble in which they had doctors. Well, that was then, this is now. But it's not far from Madison even. And so that northern border of Illinois is really hot because we're able to help a lot of people in Wisconsin too. So if you want to know more about that office, you can go to federalinjurycenters.com and check the locations tab. You scroll down to Illinois, and then you'll see the Roscoe location listed there. Their address and their phone number is there. You can actually call them directly, as you can call all of our offices directly.
Yeah.
Throughout the evening, people are going to ask, how do I get in touch with this and how do I find that? Everybody, the answer is always going to be go to locations tab and, find your office that makes sense to you. And if it does, call them directly. If not, hey, we understand. We're pulling for you and we hope you can find someone else. It's just we know how tough it is.
Yes.
That's why we have the franchise, because it's hard for you to find doctors. Most states don't have a single doctor, which is very frustrating for you. And I know you're frustrated because I can't find doctors fast enough. It's crazy. There's some people in your world that are angry at me for having doctors.
Oh, and let me give a shout out.
And in a minute, there are some people in your world that are angry that we have doctors.
Yeah.
But all of you understand how badly you need it, especially those of you that have struggled not having it. So that's why we do it. I have a business degree, and one thing they teach you is find a need and fill it. Well, if this isn't a need to fill, there's not one. You guys need doctors so bad. Yeah. And, you're really struggling in a bad way. We can fix that, So anyways, go to federalinjurycenters.com and check the locations tab.
And just let me, yesterday you guys saw that we were in Orlando. We finished up our training with Dr. Fred Williams and his team. They are taking new patient phone calls because they're going to start seeing patients as of August 22nd. So we'll have his information probably up by tomorrow on federalinjurycenters.com, the locations page. So with that said, we'll end all of that again. We'll talk about all of that at the end. So let's get cracking, Christopher.
Okay, so you answer this to Dr. Rob while I'm talking. Help him out. Okay, so today, all right, so here's what happened. Gini told me that we're going to do, okay, so apparently I said, let's talk about second opinions, but I don't remember doing that. That's okay, though, because I woke up this morning after learning that I was talking about second opinions, and I want you to see what I did. So I got up very early. You all get up early, so don't feel sorry for me. And I put all of this together for you, all of that. It doesn't surprise you that I wrote a novel about a single topic because I wrote 3 books on a lot of topics. You can see I put together a lot of stuff. And like always, true to form, I gave you the laws. I'm going to talk to you about the Code of Federal Regulations and the United States Code. And I'm going to tell you what you do about it. It's really important because these second opinion doctors can make or break a claim. More often than not, they break them. You go to a second opinion doctor because your claim examiner sent you there. And the second opinion doctor, by your reports, I've never obviously been to a second opinion doctor because I haven't had a federal work comp injury. But you go to their office and they don't look at you. They barely talk to you. They spend 5 minutes with you and they certainly don't talk to you. And then they render a decision that's bad for you.
Yeah.
And so what I'm going to do tonight is talk to you about what the rules are, what they mean for you and how you can use them. And then I wrote all of this stuff on what you can do about it. And I'm going to go through all of it with you. You're going to want to take notes. If you don't have a pen and paper, get it.
Yeah.
If you're somebody that takes notes on your phone, fantastic. Pull your notes app up and let's get started on it. second opinions are things that are going to happen to almost all of you at some point. If your claim goes on longer than, I don't even know, 2 or 3 months, you're probably going to end up at a second opinion exam. And so what we want to do is have you, armed and ready for when that day comes. I researched a lot of websites today. I researched lawyers' websites, consultants' websites that charge you money out of your pocket to get help. I researched the law. I was at Cornell. I was at the Code of Federal Regulations. I was all over the place. And so you'll want to go back and watch this again as well if you're a second opinion person. You're worried about your second opinion exam that's coming up.
Yeah.
But let's start here. I want to just kind of tell you some of the laws. And what I want you to do is write down the law. You can go back to Google and search it. Every law that I tell you, I'll be very clear about it. You can put this exact law into Google search, and it'll be the first thing that pops up on page 1 of Google when you do. You'll be able to read all of these yourself. Okay. So the first one I want to read to you is in the United States Code. It's 5 USC 8123. 5 USC 8123. So that's the United States Code. Letter A says that an employee shall, there's that word shall. An employee shall submit to examination by a medical officer of the United States or by a physician designated or approved by the Secretary of Labor after the injury and as frequent and at the times and places as may be reasonably required. So letter A says you shall go when they tell you to. Okay, you have to do it. So when they send you to a second opinion doctor, you got to go. Somebody today asked, do I have to go? Yes, you have to go. And I don't like it. I wish you didn't. Another person said, well, can I pick my own second opinion doctor? You definitely cannot. You got to go to the doctor they send you to. You shall submit to that exam. The employee may have a physician designated and paid by him or her, they should say, present to participate in the exam. So that's an interesting thing. The United States Code says you can bring your doctor. Maybe you're not going to bring your doctor. Maybe you can bring a chiropractor. Maybe you can bring a nurse practitioner. Maybe you can bring a PT or somebody that's, an employee of the doctor, so that they're seeing and witnessing what happens as well. You're allowed to do that. And they, as long as they are not disruptive in the exam, can stay. The law says so. And then it says, if there's disagreement between the physician making the exam, or in other words, a second opinion doctor, and your physician, then they will appoint a third physician, which is like a referee doctor.
Yep.
So in other words, like whatever happens with a second opinion, it's not necessarily the end. Because if your doctor and that doctor make equally good arguments, they'll just go to a third party and ask them to referee the thing. So 5 USC 8123 says you must do it, and you can even take your own doctor. So that's really interesting, because a lot of people go to these exams and they're all alone, and they're like, man, here I am all alone again, and this doctor's probably going to, screw me over. Well, you have an opportunity to get this from your doctor, okay, or have your doctor go. All right. So the next one that I want to read to you, in fact, all of the last 4, I found 5 laws for you. And most people would I found 6 laws for you. Most people would go like, your eyes would glaze over because the law is really boring. But in this case, in an OWCP, understanding the law is power. I say knowledge is power, but what you do with it is even more powerful. Well, you can't do anything with it if you don't understand it. So that's what I'm telling you. So in the Code of Federal Regulations, 20 CFR, which stands for Code of Federal Regulations, 20 CFR 10.320, the question is asked, can OWCP require you to be examined by another physician? It won't surprise you to learn that the answer is yes, that they can. So this law again reiterates that you must submit to the exam. That's just how it goes. And it says, as often and at such times and places as OWCP considers reasonably necessary. So if they tell you to do it a dozen times, you got to go. They require you to do it. Again, here it says that the employee may have a qualified physician in the exam, so you can bring your doctor. I don't know any doctors that want to do that, but they can do it. In fact, I know some that will. Actually, truthfully, I do. But a lot of doctors won't. It says the employee is not entitled to have anyone else present at the exam. Okay, so this is a point that I take issue with. It says you're not entitled to bring a friend, a witness. However, in my experience, if you don't ask, it's an automatic no. Everyone that knows me understands that that's my belief. If you don't say, hey, can my wife come in with me? Can my husband come in with me? Can my daughter come in with me? If you don't ask, then it's an automatic no. Okay, they're just definitely going to sit out there. But if you ask, maybe the second opinion doctor doesn't know that you're not entitled to have it, and maybe they say yes. So if they say yes, the person you bring in with you should take notes as well. Okay, they should just on their phone with a text or something. Probably want to be a little covert about it. Don't take pictures and videos. Doctors won't appreciate that at all, and that's disruptive. And they can end the visit if that happens, and then reschedule it, and you got to go back another time. So what we want you to do is, if you're able to get somebody in there, have them take notes about what happened. The doctor was in 5 minutes. He didn't appear to read the exam or the reports. Didn't even look up. Didn't touch the patient. Whatever. Or it was a great exam, and we expect good things to happen as a result. But if you can have a second person in there, that'd be awesome. So you're not entitled to have them in there, but if the doctor allows it, take advantage of that. Okay, that's really important. Okay. Next, and you're going to have a chance to ask a lot of questions. Don't worry. And then I've got answers to all the questions. I've already anticipated what questions you're going to ask. So
hold your questions, guys.
Yeah, hang on to them, because I anticipated what questions you're going to ask, and I'm ready. So the next one is the very next code, 20 CFR 10.321. What happens if the opinion of the physician selected by OWCP differs from the opinion of the physician selected by the employee? Well, A, if one medical opinion holds more probative value, meaning it's better, OWCP will base its determination of entitlement on that conclusion. So if your doctor writes a better narrative report than their doctor, you're going to win, theoretically, right? That's what the law says. And it says a difference in medical opinion sufficient to be considered a conflict occurs when two reports of virtually equal weight and rationale reach opposing conclusions. At that point, they send you to the referee doctor, which is a third doctor. But it's another place in the rules or in the law that says your doctor can write a great narrative. If your narrative is that good, it can beat a second opinion doctor. And you're going to see that that's one of my solutions to how to beat a second opinion doctor, is have your doctor write a fantastic narrative. So this is saying that, hey, it's not, a absolute conclusion that you're going to lose. Okay. As long as your doctor can write great reports. But another thing I read is that a specialist trumps a general practitioner. A board certified doctor is also held at a high, at high standard. So, if you're going to a general practitioner, then you're going to be disadvantaged unless that person writes a freaking great narrative report. Now, our narrative reports are awesome. We get claims accepted at a high rate. But when you go to these second opinion doctors, you need to be ready. You need to be prepared for battle. And the way you do that is to have a doctor who can write really, really great narratives. Okay. 20 CFR 10.323, moving right along. What are the penalties for failing to report for or obstructing a second opinion or referee exam? Now, I'm not going to read this to you. Let me just put it clearly. If you don't show up to a second opinion exam, they're going to cut off your benefits, or they say suspend it until you do show up. So you won't get paid. If you bring somebody into the exam who obstructs the exam or disrupts it in any way, they're going to cut the exam off, send you on your way, and your benefits are going to cut off until you go back. They'll reschedule you for whenever they decide to. And if that's 6 months from now, you're going to go 6 months without pay. So don't let that stuff happen. Show up and don't let anybody be disruptive inside, because they're going to cut your pay off while that's happening.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a quick summary of 20 CFR 10.323. 20 CFR 10.324 was interesting to me. 324. May an employer require an employee to undergo a physical exam in connection with a work-related injury? Let me hold for a second. Open your email and send that link to him with your email.
But I don't have the link.
Forward it to you here, and then you can open it up here in an email from your cell phone.
Okay. You're not understanding. I have to.
I am understanding. Check this out. So remember how you sent that link? Hey, give us a minute. Dr. Rob's trying to get on, and don't go away. We want to be able to get him on here, but we're having technical difficulties, and I'm not sure why.
Put in his email.
Talk to them.
I can't.
Yeah, you can. See what happened. Okay. Here it goes. I think I had a problem with my Outlook. It turns out user error was not Dr. Rob tonight. It was me. Come on, you can do it. Okay, so I was talking about, everyone can still see me. All right, fantastic. So 20 CFR 10.324 is really interesting. May an employer require an employee to undergo a physical exam in connection with a work-related injury? And I was like, holy cow, the employer may have authority independent of FICA to require the employee to undergo a medical exam to determine whether he or she meets the medical requirements of the position held and can perform those job duties. So there's a chance that your agency can request this. Now, they would do it by contacting the claim examiner or nurse case manager, but they can do it. So don't be surprised if it happens. I don't see that often, but and by the way, don't tell your agency that they have that right. They don't need to know. Don't tell them, because guess what? Every supervisor that I've ever even heard of would say, hey, let's send them to a second opinion doctor, because, they're jerks. So we don't want that. I don't know why this is not sending. Here, just send him a message saying we're having technical difficulties. We'll get him on next week if it doesn't work. If he gets the message, tell him to pop on. Okay. Here's the last law, and then I'm going to let you ask some questions, and I've got fantastic answers for you. 20 CFR 30.411. What happens if the opinion of the physician selected by OWCP differs from the opinion of the physician selected by the employee? You want to guess what happens? I mean, it's just another law repeating the other laws. They're going to send you to a referee doctor. Now, here's the deal with the referee doctor. If your person that goes in with you disrupts that visit, guess what they're going to do? They're going to cut off your benefits. They're going to reschedule it to whenever they feel like it. And if it's 6 months later, you're going to go 6 months without pay. So show up and don't let anybody be disruptive, and make sure that, you take good notes on what's going on inside of this thing, and that they have, that they're doing what's in your best interest. It's going to be hard for you to do. A lot of people look at doctors and they kind of revere them, like intimidated by them. Don't be intimidated by doctors. They're not intimidating. They're just regular folks that know something different than we know. They don't know anything you know. Trust me. I don't know a single doctor that can case mail. Believe me. They don't have a clue. They don't know you got to make it right every single time when you're delivering mail. They don't get it. And if they had to sit in the right-hand seat and driving a car, they'd think they're in England. They wouldn't have a clue. Okay. So don't revere these guys and ladies. Tell them what you want. Okay. Have an expectation and make them fulfill it. So all these laws are here to kind of tell you what the deal is. But the bottom line is, the deal is this: you're required to do it. You have to go. Okay. You don't have an option. You got to go to the second opinion doctor. And if you disrupt it, they're going to cut off your pay. So show up, be a good boy and girl, so to speak, which I would really have a hard time doing, especially me, because I don't revere doctors at all. And, when I had COVID, I went into the doctor and told him what medicines to prescribe me. I mean, what kind of brat crap is that? But you know what? I lived through it too, because he just wanted to give me cough medicine. I was like, okay, let me tell you who's in charge here. Here's what we're going to do tonight.
Yeah, he did do that.
Okay. We're going to get this cocktail of medicines, and I'm going to go home and live, like all of you did. Thank God. So, I've read all the laws. I've got a lot of stuff I want to talk to you about, but you got a lot of questions, and I want to answer those. And I'm going to use your questions as a way to answer using my notes. It's going to be great and fantastic, and it's going to be organized. Let's go.
All right. Christina says, question. I like to file tomorrow. My injury was to the right knee. I'm now having horrible pain and swelling to the left knee. Do I file a brand new claim for a CA2 or a CA2A? No one is giving me advice at work.
I'm sorry. What? Question.
What were you?
Right. Which I like to file tomorrow. My injury was to my right knee. I'm now having horrible pain and swelling to the left knee. Do I file a brand new claim? Okay, so I understand what you're asking. What you're asking is a consequential injury. And what you need to do is go to your doctor and decide, or ask your doctor, is this a new injury that's like a new condition, like a CA1 or CA2, or is it a consequence of the other condition? If because your right knee is hurt, as a result of that, your left knee is hurt, then it's called a consequence. If your right knee was never hurt, your left knee wouldn't be hurt now. So that's called a consequential injury. So there's three ways that this can go. It could be a new CA1, and a new CA1 happened in a single shift. It could be a new CA2, which developed over time, independent of the right knee. Or it could be a result of having the right knee problem. You're limping around and stuff. You're overcompensating, and now your left knee hurts. So that's a consequential injury. In all cases, your doctor will have to write a narrative report explaining why your knee is the way it is now and e-comp that to Department of Labor.
Sonia, what's up? She said, hey, what's up, Jeannie and Chris? Sharon said, accident happened in February, and just last week I got surgery from the injuries. My shoulder has been broken since because somebody fired me for 2 months. My MRI approval was delayed. Once I got back to work, they approved the MRI and then surgery.
That's a mess.
Yeah.
So the accident happened in February, and just last week I got my surgery. Wow, that's a long time to wait for surgery. Shoulder was broken since then. I mean, walking around with a broken shoulder because management fired her for 2 months, that's crap too. They're not supposed to do that. The MRI approval was delayed. You know, that's frustrating too. The MRI approval gets delayed because you have MRI centers that won't take a risk. You know, all of our MRI imaging centers take the risk, but it's not really a risk. Our doctors get the claim accepted, then the imaging center gets paid. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened. You know, you could have used your health insurance, which I hate. I told you so, and I don't even like you using your health insurance, but that would have helped get your MRI. But man, that's a story that I hear all the time. People struggle with this over and over and over, that they can't get the help they need because their claim wasn't accepted, and no MRI centers will take them because they don't understand OWCP, like most doctors don't either. You know, 100 doctors say no to every one that says yes to us.
Yep.
And all the ones that never even got a chance to say no, they don't know anything about this. It's very frustrating.
Maria Portal says, who pays for the doctor's time?
If we're talking about third parties, OWCP pays for the doctor's time, not you, certainly, thankfully. They're definitely, because they're contracted by OWCP, they're almost like contract employees of OWCP, which should make you nervous. It definitely would make me nervous.
Yep. Jacqueline says, hey, Chris and Jeannie and friends, Dynamic Health of Carolinas, Federal Injury Centers of Charlotte here. If you guys want to reach out to them, she listed the phone number. She said you can call or text. That's the Federal Injury Centers of Charlotte. We were there last week.
That was so much fun.
Fun.
That's a great office. It's an unbelievable office with a great staff, and a huge staff, 2 floors, a massive workout center. They got chiropractors and nurse practitioners and medical doctors. And I mean, it's unbelievable what they have. And I'm not over exaggerating. This is like the model office. We've got other offices like it. Okay. But this office, let me tell you something. It's unbelievable. And, you know, the doctors are 100% on board. The nurse practitioners are fantastic report writers. They've already got more than 2/3 of their claims accepted. And so they're in Charlotte, North Carolina, all by themselves. But it's a great location. It's a fantastic office, great parking. There's no hassles getting in. And they take really good care of you. And they probably have the best case manager on the planet at the office in Charlotte. So thanks for being on, Jacqueline. We're glad to have you here.
Jackie is on from Austin, Texas. She said, hey, everyone, this is Jackie from Austin, Texas on YouTube.
Hey, Jackie. Thanks for being here. Hook 'em horns.
Is that what?
They're in Austin. Yeah.
Is that the
Matthew McConaughey? Yeah.
Just gotta make sure.
Yeah.
Sonia Summer says, I'm special then. My second opinion agreed 100% as my doctor exam, which was 5 years ago, by the way. Now, why the heck am I ordered to do a third opinion? Is it because I filed for Social Security disability?
No, usually the third one is that's the referee exam. I mean, unless there's something about your case that I don't know, which obviously there's a ton about your case I don't know. But according to all the research I did today, they'll send to a third doctor when the second opinion doctor and your doctor's information are so equal in information that they need a referee exam to break the tie. It's a tiebreaker.
Becky's like, yes, you could McConaughey this way. It's fine.
Oh,
Sharon said, exactly. Those notes can be submitted as legal evidence and must be marked as contemporary notes. They must also be written as soon as practical.
Yeah.
You mean possible?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we tell our doctors to get all the notes out within, seems like one of your strings have issues. Weird problems tonight. In 10 days with the CA1, your COP cut off. So, but we like to have everything out the door with 3 days.
Jade Collins says, I was terminated while out. Nobody knows why. Yes, I was approved by OWCP.
Well, if you were terminated while you're out and nobody knows why, your union needs to get on that and figure it out. There's no reason to terminate you if you have an accepted claim. they could have very well violated your rights under the law. So you need to check that out. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what happened, but your union should be fighting that. You shouldn't get fired for having a work injury. That is a crime.
Yeah. Victor said, can we bring Chris Helms as a witness?
Oh, man.
Victor.
They wouldn't like it very much, Victor. But I'd love it. That'd be fantastic if I could.
He goes, it's not the supervisor. It's stupidvisor. You're welcome.
Yeah, I know.
Christina said, got it. Thank you so much.
Very welcome.
Cha Mai said, I had an injury December 2019 for a sciatic in my right leg. And OWCP keeps telling me it's related to a back injury in 2009 when someone hit me.
Well, if it's related to a back injury in 2009 when someone hit you, pre-existing conditions are covered. So your doctor just needs to explain how, as a result of the pre-existing condition, the job aggravated it, accelerated it, worsened it, whatever, if that's actually the case. If it's not the case, your doctor's got to explain through a written narrative how that's just nonsense. The other day I saw one where somebody had a 2021 injury and the denial said, you didn't address what happened in 2022. And so our doctor went back and said, let me tell you why we didn't address what happened in 2022. And that's because it was after the injury. I mean, like, you just can't make this stuff up, So anyways.
She said, the same Cha Mai said, I was casing and right sharp male and a sharp pain ran down my leg. The supervisor wrote a new claim when I was off for 45 days. They denied my case, saying it was related to the accident in 2009. Now I get notice to pay the 45 days back. I can't find no one to take my case. They're billing for 45 days.
So where's she located?
Yeah. Let us know where you're located.
And again, remember, you can go to federalinjurycenters.com and check the locations tab. And if there's an office there that makes sense to you, you can call them.
Vincent Sapone said, if your centers are caring for injured postal workers like myself, if they're taking medication for pain, why can't I get a prescription for my medication I'm taking for pain? I'm meeting with Dr. K next Friday at the Palm Harbor office to discuss the issue.
So not all doctors will prescribe those kinds of medications, and I truthfully I can't weigh in on it. I don't have a medical license, so I can't have a medical opinion. But I can tell you from my experience in my entire adult life working in medical offices with medical doctors, many of them are not comfortable prescribing pain medications, and they will instead refer you out to a specialist who that is their specialty, pain management. And then they can do that, but that doesn't mean OWCP will pay for it. Oftentimes, the doctor will have to write a letter of medical necessity. It's very strong, explaining why you need it. And that's not me saying you don't need it. That's me saying that's how you get it. That's how it has to happen.
Stefan Shelnut said, have a question. I work for the VA, but I also get disability payments 100% service connected from the VA. It appears that since I'm getting VA disability payments, I cannot get OWCP reimbursement on my CA7, although I receive 100% service connected payments each month. Am I missing something?
That's a tricky one. So we were talking to Eric Blowers about this. There are certain conditions set up where you can't receive, you can't double dip. This may be one of them. I'm going to recommend that you give Eric's office a call and just ask him the question. He'll sit for a few minutes and answer that. But that is a little bit outside of my pay grade on, you've got all these are things external to OWCP. That's why I'm kind of struggling with it. And I don't want to give you a bad answer. So Gini's going to post Eric's information and you just post it down at the bottom, right?
Okay, so if you guys click the top of the chat, all the information to find our locations, the books, Eric Blowers,
great. So
everything
it's already there.
is there. It's already there. So you can either get it after or, if you just tap at the top.
Yeah, sorry. I don't like giving an answer that I'm not 100% sure about. So instead, I can send you someplace where you will 100% get the right answer.
Yeah. Victor said, can't wait to party at Mango's with both of you in Orlando. VIP, baby.
Show them your glass again.
Hold on, Victor. Cheers.
Mango's. We were there I don't know, a couple of months ago with Dr. Dorfman and his girlfriend Mercedes, and they got these, believe it or not, those things were lit up. They had like these blinking, flashing lights in them. It was pretty obnoxious.
Yeah.
Imagine her having an obnoxious glass. It was really shocking. I couldn't believe it.
It was just water.
Okay.
Elaine said, I called the local office, but the case manager did not call me back. Elaine, okay. If you guys are having any issues with offices not returning your calls, please message me after the live. Tell me what office you're trying to get involved in. What office you're trying to get in touch with, and when you called them, and then just put your phone number down, and I'll make sure tomorrow, first thing, get them to call you.
Yeah, and we're sorry about that. Look, we've got all these offices, and there's training issues, and there's new staff, and sometimes they make mistakes. Like any office makes mistakes. I was talking to her about this the other day. That the value of us having a franchise versus some just independent doctor that's out there is that I have some control over these franchise doctors in their offices. When they don't return calls, I can do something about it. When your doctor, who I've never heard of, doesn't return your call, all I can say is sorry about that. I can't help you. And I can't because, I don't control that. But we set up rules in this franchise that allows me to go in outside of making medical decisions and actually set rules and guidelines and mandate training. So whatever office this is, we'll do some retraining and make sure it doesn't keep happening.
Cha Mai, I did reach out to them, and I'm going to figure out why they haven't called you back. Paul Wedge said, hello, everyone.
What's up, Paul?
Victor said, are you planning to hit all 50 star
states? I'm sure.
Oh, states?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, the goal is to have an office in all 50 states. A couple of the states that we don't have offices in yet, but I know we're working hard on are Iowa and New Jersey. I think there may be another one. We have one in Oklahoma coming really soon that's already signed up with us. So we've got some new states coming on board, and it's just, it's a hard process. It's difficult. Nobody wants to do it.
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard, and that's why we keep doing it. So we know that if we stop, nobody else will do this for you.
I know a lot of you have been sending us doctors, and I'll tell you guys, you need to contact Joe. So what's happening is they're great doctors, but once they hear what everything is entailed, they don't want to do it. It's a lot of work. And so there's only so much we can do. We can't push them to open an office and become a franchise.
I mean, we can push them, but it doesn't ever work.
No.
And here's the other thing we found out. Joe has a cool saying that's all the way right. He says, I can't drag you over the finish line. If we have to drag a doctor to the finish line, they don't want it. And then you're going to be frustrated. They're going to break all the rules and not return phone calls, okay, which is a pet peeve of mine. And so we want doctors who are enthusiastic, that are on fire, that instantly get it. Like we got this new guy coming on in Jacksonville. I mean, he said, yeah, I'm ready. I got 3 offices. Let's go.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. The guy in Oklahoma City, I think he finished his training faster than I've ever seen anybody finish his training. Yesterday, Dr. Williams in Orlando, I got there and to do a live training, his staff was already trained. I've never even seen that before.
Yeah.
But we've got some offices that are like, let's go, let's go, let's go. But if there's people that I've got to go, let's go, let's go, let's go, you're not going to like those doctors.
Mm-hmm. And Victor wants to know in Puerto Rico, including Puerto Rico.
Victor, one of our guys is seriously considering Puerto Rico. Yeah. That's all I can say. I mean, I'll let you know because I'll probably be there all the time.
Kevin, we're working on Kentucky. It's just taking us a little bit longer because no one wants to do this program as yet, but we're not giving up. We're looking.
And by the way, God bless all of you in Kentucky. I mean, those floods were just disasters. So I hope you're all doing well. I know many of you aren't. So hang in there.
Paul Wedge, we are talking to somebody in Connecticut. So sit tight. That may come in fall or before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Trisha said, hello. OWCP recently approved a cervical surgery for me after an injury I had in October. I'm currently on limited duty. I do not want to have a surgery. Can they force me to?
No, nobody can force you to have surgery. That's a simple answer. They cannot make you have surgery. However, if you refuse surgery and that would be the last thing you could have, then you are now at MMI. Now, hey, the good news is you may be eligible for a scheduled award. Depends on your diagnosis. But nobody can make you. In fact, they can't make you do any treatment. Nobody can force you to do anything against your will. Yeah. That's the beauty of healthcare. You can't be forced to do it. It's not like, no, I shouldn't say that. No, you can't be forced to do it. It's rare that I actually hold my tongue and don't say things that are offensive. So Write this day
He
down.
won't be offensive.
Write this day down.
Jackie on YouTube, you said, I don't know if you can see my last comment, but I'll send you another message via inbox. Yeah, go ahead and do that.
So let's pause with questions and let me, because I think about when I read this, it's going to answer a lot of second opinion questions, and then we'll get back to the ones. And I know before I go, Dr. Cooper's here.
Hey, Dr. Cooper.
And I love mentioning Dr. Cooper's here because he's awesome. He's always here. He's helping. He's answering questions. Dr. Cooper is in Forest Park, Georgia. Where he's at, you can see the airplanes landing at the airport. He's also in Phoenix City, Alabama. He is a 6th edition trained doctor. So big applause to that because there's so few of them. So we're glad to have Dr. Cooper here. By the way, the Orlando office we were just at, one of their doctors is also a 6th edition trained doctor. We were really pleasantly surprised yesterday to see that she's already trained. So if you're in Orlando, you're going to be able to get your schedule award already. So I want to go through and go through my notes that I took as a result of all the laws that I looked up today and just my ideas on it and how to beat this system. That's my whole thing. That's why I wrote the Breaking OWCP books is how do you beat this thing? And look, Breaking OWCP is how to do to it what it does to you. So this is just an extension of that. How do we beat these second opinions? I don't want to say break them, but let's do that too. So I have these just bullet points. Let's go through them. Why does OWCP request second opinion exams? So this is an important way to start. They will request second opinion exams when there's a question about your accepted condition, when they're not clear on what your accepted condition is, or when your doctor is saying it's one thing, they don't agree, right? They'll request one when there's a question as to your work abilities. If your doctor filled out a CA-17 that says you can't work at all, they may request a second opinion doctor. When your doctor hasn't proven medically why you need to be out of work. So maybe the doctor says you're out of work, but didn't write a great disability narrative explaining medically why you needed to be out. They could request a second opinion doctor. They can request one when there's a question about causation. Okay. When they're not sure that your injury was actually caused by the job or how it was caused by the job, because your doctor wrote a poor narrative, and so they could request a second opinion exam. When you've been on the periodic rolls for a really long time, so you've just been out of work, you haven't even had to fill out a CA-7, okay? When you're on the rolls for a long time, they may want to get you off the rolls, and so they send you a second opinion doctor. I read this today. I was doing a lot of research, and so this one guy said, when your doctor has requested a procedure that is not customary or it's very expensive, so it's like unusual, maybe your doctor wants to do a $10,000 stem cell injection, they may request a second opinion doctor, right? Or when your doctor requests a diagnosis expansion later in the case. I thought that was interesting. I read that was someone's opinion today, that's a reason for second opinions. So you're going along in your case, and however long later the doctor wants to expand your case and add a new diagnosis, they may request a second opinion exam. So I think those are interesting reasons why they may want one. And that's happened to so many of you already. And then I asked, my next question is, do you have to attend? Well, I made this clear. Yes, because your benefits can be suspended if you object or fail to show to the exam. Your benefits can also be suspended if your representative obstructs the exam. So don't forget that. So show up, have your friend that shows up with you, be on their best behavior. And then the next one I said is, how are decisions determined? Generally, a specialist is greater than a general practitioner. I said that earlier. Board certification is greater than no board certification. Claims examiners generally consider the weight of the medical narratives between doctors. So if your doctor writes a better one than their doctor, you're going to win. If they're equal, you go to a referee. So that's that. And then the next one, I think this is one of the most important ones, is what are your rights? So here's some of your rights. You can have your own physician present. I've never heard of a doctor going, but if you can make that happen, I think the second opinion doctor will be on their best behavior. 2, you may be able to have a guest present. Remember, it doesn't hurt to ask. You can try. If you don't ask, it's an automatic no. 3, you can ensure the second opinion doctor has all the relevant information. You can even ask the doctor, hey, doc, what are you looking at? What information are you using to make a decision today? Can you tell me what you have? What did they send you? A lot of people just sit quietly because they revere the doctor, or they fear the doctor, or they're intimidated by the doctor. Don't be. Hey, doc, what are you looking at over there? You're standing on the other side of the room, not even looking at me. What are you reading? What did they send you? And
a lot of you complaining about that the doctor's only spending like 5 minutes with you.
Make them tell you what they have, and then take notes. The doctor said they have this, this, and this. Okay. That's going to be really important. The next one, you can write a detailed description of what took place during the exam. The exam took 5 minutes. The doctor never looked at me. He wouldn't tell me what he was looking at, didn't touch me, and then just left. Then a nurse came in and said, okay, you're finished. You can leave now. If that happens, write that down. Whatever the real details are, but as all things, tell the truth. Don't exaggerate. Be very, very precise. Precision matters in this. Another right, you can request the second opinion report. You can request the statement of accepted facts. And these are things, the statement of accepted facts is what the doctor should have. And you can request the questions that the claims examiner asks. Oftentimes, they're asking questions to the doctor and asking the doctor to, in fact, almost always, to answer these questions. Mm-hmm. So you can request these things, and they should be in your ecomp file too. I like the next one, to request the statement of accepted facts in advance. I want to know in advance what you're saying those facts are. Eric said, hey, they may be wrong. You might want to dispute them. So your doctor or your lawyer could write a narrative disputing the statement of accepted facts. There was somebody who they said that they were climbing a ladder and that's how they got hurt. Well, that's not how they got hurt. They got hurt when the ladder fell and they grabbed a bar and it ripped their shoulder out of socket. It wasn't climbing a ladder that hurt them. It was grabbing the bar that hurt them, and that's a big difference. Yeah. Request the claims examiner questions in advance. You want to know what questions are they asking this second opinion doctor? What do they want to know? They may be asking questions that have already been answered. Wouldn't you like to know that, right? And your doctor or lawyer can object to those questions, according to Eric, and I think that's pretty cool. So if you have that stuff in advance, it'll help your doctor or lawyer help you. Remember, the weight of the medical evidence is what they're going to weigh, is what they're going to make decisions on. So your doctor can have better medical evidence if they know the information in advance. So what will the second opinion doctor review? I probably should have said this one first, but whatever. Number one, the claims examiner's reason for requesting the exam. What do they want? Do they want to send you back to work? Do they want to stop paying you? Are they not sure about your diagnosis expansion? What's their purpose? Two, the statement of accepted facts. What do they say? Was it the ladder or the bar? Right? What are they saying are the accepted facts? Three, the questions to be answered. What do they want to know? What are they asking the second opinion doctor to figure out? Copies of medical reports, diagnostics, etc. That's what the second opinion doctor should be reviewing. And you should ask, hey, do you have my medical reports, my diagnostics? What do you have there? You know what else? And you're not going to find this in the rules anywhere. But another thing they're going to review is whatever the heck you hand them. Okay, so you know that they need to have your medical reports, your diagnostics, right? You could take them with you and say, hey, just in case, I got this for you. Don't make the mistake of handing this to the receptionist. When you come to one of our offices, we gather all your documentation up front. We take it, we give you copies back, and we give it to the doctor. When you go to the second opinion doctor, don't give it to the receptionist. If they say, do you have anything? Say, nope.
Yeah, just wait.
Hand it directly to the doctor. Always give it to the doctor, because you want to make sure they have it. No excuses. They need to have the information. So whatever you give them is what they will review. And the second opinion doctor has 30 days to submit their report to OWCP. So one of the questions I get all the time is, I went to a second opinion. When is that going to be done? Right. Well, so now I read this. They have 30 days. So that'll answer the question. From now on, I'm going to tell you they have 30 days, but check your ecomp file, because your total case file should include the second opinion report. Okay, so I got a couple more sections, but to me, this is like super fun. Believe it or not, I'm probably like the leading expert on OWCP, and I learned stuff today. So the fact that you wanted to know about second opinions made me have to know more stuff than I did already. So thank you for that. Okay, this is my favorite section. I think I said the other one was, but it's this one. How can you avoid second opinion exams? Like, whoa, yes. Wouldn't you just like to avoid it? Because if you go to a second opinion exam, they may cut off your benefits. They're going to try for sure. It could definitely hurt you. And how do you avoid it? So here's my ideas. And these aren't the rules. But after everything I read, these are my suggestions. Number one, document all of your injuries starting on day one. What happens a lot, remember, diagnosis expansions could be a reason for a second opinion. So you show up and, you had a car wreck, or, you fell out of the vehicle, or you tripped, you fell down on the ice, and your shoulders hurt. And your shoulder's hurting so bad that you don't think about your elbow and your wrist. I just got to get my shoulder handled. But you have an elbow and a wrist problem, and later on you realize, I have an elbow and wrist problem, but I didn't report it in the beginning. So document all of your conditions on day one, everything that's hurting. Everything that even feels a little bit wrong, document it right up front so your doctor can put it in the narrative report. That way, we don't have to write expansion reports. I was training yesterday, and I said to the doctor, reports take time. The most time that a doctor spends is writing narrative reports. If you can get a 100% complete narrative on day one, you will never have to write an expansion. You'll never, and if you write a great report, you'll never have to write a report for reconsideration.
Yep.
You only have to write one, and that's what you want. You only want them to have to write one. That means you won up front, you won big. So document all your injuries starting on day one. 2, go to a doctor who can write excellent narratives. Too many of you still, even you know about us, you go someplace else. And too many times your representatives are telling you to go someplace else and don't come here. How does that work out for you? Because next thing you know, you're calling me because you got a denial. Just come here.
Yep.
Okay, because we're trained to make sure that we fully document everything on day one. Because we don't want to write a bunch of reports. We don't want to win on the first report. 3, make sure your narratives include all the appropriate details and contain all the appropriate diagnoses. Well, that's kind of like document all your injuries. But you need to look at your narrative reports. Too many of you just trust it and say, okay, I just send it in, doc. I'll look at it later when it's on my ecomp file. Too late, because now your claims examiner has it too. You have a chance to read that report and say, doc, you missed something. Or, hey, it's not the ladder. It was the thing I grabbed a hold of. It wasn't the ladder. You have an opportunity to fix things. So review your narratives. Make sure that they're right. 4, get imaging and other diagnostics done. We just had this person, sadly, that said, months later, they finally got an MRI.
Yeah.
Well, for me, that's the whole being stuck at a red light. What do you do about it? Well, you don't just sit there. If you're going to get hungry, you have to go to the bathroom, right? Run the red light. Pretend it's green. Figure out how to get your imaging. Just figure it out. We had somebody that said, we're going to fly all the way to Florida to get one for free. You can, because we have people here that'll do it. But do what it takes. You want to avoid diagnosis expansions when possible. If that's a reason for a second opinion doctor, let's avoid it. 5, very important, follow your doctor's orders exactly. If they say you need to go to therapy 3 times a week, or you need to get injections, or you need to go get an MRI, or go to the surgical consult, or go back to work on limited duty, do what they tell you to do, because they have your best interest. And medically, they are experts here. Again, like I said, they don't know anything about casing Mel, but they know this. So follow your doctor's orders and make every possible effort to get better ASAP. The longer you're out of work, the more likely it is you're going to get a second opinion exam.
Yeah.
And that second opinion exam is probably not going to be good for you. So follow your doctor's orders exactly. Make every effort possible to get back to work. And 6, along those same lines, go to work at least on limited duty. I always say the surest way to get paid is to clock in. If you're at work, then your supervisor is going to be less upset with you. Your nurse case managers aren't going to be bugging you all the time. And it's going to be less likely that you're going to get a second opinion doctor. I am not suggesting you go to work when it's not safe for you to do so. And I'm not a doctor. I wouldn't tell you that anyways. What I am telling you is that the easiest way to avoid hassles is to be on the clock. So if you can, do so. We do have people occasionally that say, hey, doc, can you just take me off of work? And I tell our doctors, don't do that. Because right now it seems like that's what they want, but later on they're going to wish they didn't ask that. Because I don't want you having the hassles with the supervisors, with the claims examiners, the nurse case managers, and with the second opinion doctors. 7, communicate with your agency. Now, this is one that is, I think some people I know would say, well, that's worthless. I don't think so. I think if you communicate, they're going to be less likely to give you a hard time. Show them your CA20s and your CA17s. Now, they don't have a right to any other reports, but show them this stuff. Say, hey, look, I'm getting better. My doctor has improved my restrictions. I can do more work. I'm working to get back full duty. Let them know that your goal is to get back full duty, because clearly it is. Why do so many of you have your jobs 20 plus years, 25, 30? It's because you're trying to make it to retirement.
Yeah.
You obviously want to make it. So be sure your supervisors know that. Okay, I don't want anybody thinking falsely that you're just like malingering and trying to stay home. You're not. You're trying to get back because you like your retirement. So communicate that to your agency. Maybe that can help. I'm not saying dance for the supervisor, okay? They can dance for you.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to save you. And last, communicate with your nurse case manager. Now, this may not help, but nurse case managers can make or break a case, and they can definitely send people to a second opinion doctor. When your nurse case manager is involved in what's going on and they understand what you're trying to do and that you're trying to get back to work and they see you back at work, they're not going to want to send you to a second opinion doctor because you're progressing. So that's how to avoid it. Now, what to do after a second opinion exam? This is the last thing. So it's all over with. You've had the exam, you're back. What do? get a copy of the second opinion report. Remember, they have 30 days to submit it, but it should be in your ecomp file. So get a copy of it because you need to take it to your doctor. Show that to your doctor and or your lawyer if you have one. Give your written report of what happened during the exam. Remember, you're taking detailed notes of what happened. Even if it was a 5-minute exam, take your notes in the car before you leave while it's fresh on your mind. And if you have a guest in the room, give that person's report too. Give all the details of what happened to your doctor or lawyer, okay? And then tell your doctor or lawyer to write a rebuttal report with excellent details as to how the exam and findings are flawed, if they are indeed flawed. They need to write a rebuttal immediately and e-comp that. Along with, I would say, get an updated CA-17 and CA-20. Okay, we're not just going to lay down. We're going to say, no, this is what the deal is. So your doctor writes a rebuttal and gives updated forms. Request a meeting with you, your doctor, and your nurse case manager if that's available. Have your nurse case manager understand what's going on. Oftentimes we say, hey, you don't have to have them in the room, but this may be a time you want them there because they can be assistance to you if they see that you're making all the effort to get back. So maybe communicate to them. I'm not saying that's going to be foolproof, but it could help. And lastly, and I saved it for the very end because Eric said the following word for word. A second opinion in and of itself is not a decision that can be appealed. So I asked him, if they get an adverse decision, are they going to get an appeal request form that they can do a reconsideration for, which would be super cool. But he said, no, not in and of itself. It's not. You must have an adverse action or a decision to be afforded appeal rights. So when you get a letter in the mail from your claims examiner after a second opinion doctor, if there is a adverse action, they're going to have an appeal request form. And if that happens, you need to appeal it. Never, ever give up. Always fight. So that concludes my notes. I was happy to be able to get through it all. You're going to want to maybe go back and rewatch this. I know how enthusiastic you'll be to go watch it again because it's so exhilarating. But it's good information because second opinion doctors exams are happening to too many of you. And I think at this point, that is the most that's ever been taught on the topic since OWCP was created in 1916. So what other questions do we have?
Okay. All right. Cha Mai said, can they bill you for 45 days when you get your case when your case gets denied? I have to November.
Right. So what she's talking about is continuation of pay. And if your claim is ultimately adjudicated as denied, you'll have to pay back your COP. They do that by sending you a demand. They'll start by taking your sick and annual leave, and they start probably deducting it from your paycheck. But if your claim is under appeal, like you're doing a reconsideration, then you're not finally adjudicated. So you need to show them that you're under appeal, write a letter to your agency, and show your appeal request form and say, hey, I'll let you know what happens.
Yep. Victor said, there's a convention in Puerto Rico next year. Yes, I'm coming. That's all I have to say.
We'll see you there, Victor.
2023. Look, be there.
I'm not stupid enough to say no to a Puerto Rico convention. So we'll be there. Even if it's not official, I'll see you on the beach.
We'll share a room with you.
Yeah, I'll see you on the beach.
Judy Sullivan said, okay, so we do have a federal injury centers in Tennessee, in Memphis.
Yep.
We do have a center in Gulfport, Mississippi. We are working on Missouri and Arkansas.
Yep.
So keep checking back federalinjurycenters.com on the locations tab. Dennis Gonzalez said, how would we gather evidence to substantiate a CA2 for heat-related illnesses?
Well, that's going to be between you and your doctor. I think that's an interesting question. You'll want to write a detailed statement as to how your heat-related illness occurred. What was the temperature? How long were you out in it? What were the circumstances there? And I know that they have accepted those claims. A lot of times a heat-related issue is a CA1, though.
Yeah.
It happened in a single shift. Most people are able to go home and recover and come back the next day, go home, recover, come back the next day.
Yep.
So, but again, I recommend that you speak with your doctor about it, explain the circumstances, and let your doctor determine, did it happen over 2 or more shifts or in a single shift?
Melissa Wayne said, I just received another appointment to have a second opinion. The first one was disregarded, so I'm having a new one. I Googled this doctor. His profile says he's an orthopedic surgery of spine, but my issue is a hip.
Wait, let me see it again. Receive another appointment to have a second opinion. The first one was disregarded, so I'm having a new one. I Googled this new doctor. His profile says he's orthopedic surgeon of the spine, but my issue is the hip. Okay, so they get to choose a doctor. It really doesn't matter that it's not a spine, it's a hip. And when I was talking to Dr. McLaughlin today, he was kind of indicating that hip and spine are really closely related anyways. So that's probably okay, but there's really nothing you can do about it. You have to go.
Victor, it's at the Hilton Hotel. Sweet.
Nice. Elaine
said, do they need to be board certified?
No. Nobody has to be board certified. But when they are board certified, then the claims examiner gives them more weight than if they're not.
Teresa, oh my gosh. She said, hi, Gini, miss you. Let's get together when you're free. I don't know when I'm going to be free.
What is free? Don't even know what that means. I literally
travel every week. This is the first week we are going to be home, and then we're not off until October. So I will get in contact with you. Text me. Paul Wedge said, they said I slipped and fell on an aircraft carrier. I am in the Army.
Interesting. So I'll bet you weren't on an aircraft carrier. So that would be the statement of accepted facts that you'll want to dispute. That, hey, I wasn't on an aircraft carrier. I'm in the Army. It's probably pretty easy to overturn that, though.
Elaine Reed said, second opinion did not want to take any reports.
So in other words, they brought reports in and the second opinion doctor wouldn't take it. No problem. Just leave it sitting on the table.
That's ridiculous.
Hey, you brought it in. Leave it. And then document, I brought information in that the doctor refused to review.
Yeah.
Just use that to your advantage. They refuse to review information. Why would they do that? In fact, why would a doctor refuse to review information? I've worked for doctors since I was 20 years old. They always review the stuff you bring in. It's relevant, or at least they have to find out if it's relevant. If they don't, freaking contracted by the OWCP. It's not fair to you.
How do I get a second opinion doctor for my injury? They keep denying from my doctor. He doesn't know how to write a narrative. I'm a full duty carrier. She's trying to get an appointment with Walker, Louisiana.
Yeah, so this is different than the second opinion that we're talking about, because ours are required exams that are set up by the claims examiner. You can go to a second opinion doctor of your choice anytime you want. You don't have to stay with a doctor that doesn't know how to do the job.
Katie said, my postmaster told me anytime I'm out on work comp does not count toward retirement. Is this true? If so, I'm out for 6 months to retire. I actually need 20 years and 6 months.
Yeah, so not all of your benefits are going to continue while you're out. So what you want to do is get with your union about that. And also you want to try to get back to work so you don't have that problem. If you can get on a limited duty assignment, then you're back in business potentially,
Yeah. Elaine said, how about after a referee exam? Can it be rebuttal?
Yeah. Again, the referee, your doctor can write a rebuttal to that, and it still can be considered if it's a better report than the referee exam.
Melissa said, my postmaster's trying to give me 4 hours of work and send me home and get paid from OWCP for the other 4 hours. But they gave me an 8-hour work week assignment. This will be the second attempt at this. The first time it happened, I was out for a month or so. Labor told them that they can't take the job offer back, and I have to be brought back to work. What do I do now since they're trying to pull this mess again?
Sorry. When they're long like that, I have to just go back to the beginning and make sure I caught it right. So the postmaster is trying to give me 4 hours of work and send me home and get paid from OWCP for the other 4 hours, but they gave me an 8-hour work assignment. This will be the second attempt at this. The first time it happened, I was out for a month or so. Labor told them that they can't take the job offer back, and I have to be brought back to work. What do I do now since they're trying to pull this mess again? You need to go to your union and fight this stuff. They're supposed to be offering you limited duty assignments that work for you, okay? And yes, they can actually pull it back if it didn't work for you, and you can reject it if your doctor says it doesn't work for you. It's not just one way. It's not absolute. So have your union help you with that. The unions need to get tougher on these issues. And I'm not, bashing the union. I'm just saying, like, there are certain things I can't do anything about. I can't walk into your agency and tell your postmaster or anything. I don't have any authority there, but your union does. When there's a dispute, stewards have the same power as a manager. So they have power. They just need to, wield their power.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Joe's going to put this on here all the time if I don't. Google your doctor. A lot of people are saying, that there are issues with some of the doctors, and, you all heard the compliance thing a few weeks ago. And, that was a real strong topic for me. And I can reiterate it and repeat it every week. You all need to understand that, Federal Injury Centers is the highest level compliance of any federal doctor in the country. I would put my money on that. Because of the way we do compliance. Everything we do in our office has compliance built into it. We've got posters up. We're telling patients, be sure you're signing your documentation. Be sure you sign in, prove you were there. We do self audits. We do external audits. We've got a certified billing and coding auditor that's looking through things. This is just our standard procedure. We don't pay for referrals. You don't pay us for anything. No money is ever exchanged. And, there was a letter that was distributed, or an email distributed to some people saying, hey, be careful with these people because, other groups in the past have committed fraud. Other groups in the past is the key there, not us.
Other groups.
So what I want you to do, and go back to your union and report back what you find, is Google your doctor. And, the proof is there. If your doctor has a problem, you're going to find it. Google your doctor. Do Google images, Google searches. Read the reviews. Find out what other people are saying. Don't take the word of someone that's not an expert in our field. Again, I don't know how to case mail, and I won't tell you how to do it. But some of your folks, I would say probably most, if not all, don't have a medical background. So it's important, or a legal background. It's important that you don't try to weigh in on something you don't have any expertise at. I will never tell you how to deliver mail. I won't tell you how to check a bag at TSA, and I won't tell you how to protect the border on the border. And you don't tell me how to do legal and medical, and we'll all get along fine, and I'll keep getting your claims accepted. But what you need to do is Google this stuff, search it. You'll see for yourself. And when you show up to the office, ask our offices to talk to you about compliance, because that's what they do. Yesterday, when I was training in Orlando, one of the girls said, Chris, I hear your voice when I'm going to sleep, because I record everything, all of our training on video, including our compliance training. And, they had it down. You know what the other thing they had down was? They know to tell you to file a grievance. Now, some of you won't like that, which is fine for me, because I think you need to file grievances all the time. And I'm going to get back to the hashtag file a grievance shirts, as you should too. But our offices are so well trained, they even know that. But we train compliance. I mean, everyone understands it, that we do things clean or we don't do it. And if you don't do it clean, we kick you out. And 3 doctors have been kicked out. That's the way it goes. We don't play around. So pass it on. Tell your friends. That's the way it goes.
Okay, again, if any of you are having an issue where you say you're calling a doctor's office, please message me and let me know what office you're calling, your phone number, and when you called and you didn't get a call back, because I will handle it personally. I reach out to the doctors, I screenshot your messages, and I let them know, and hopefully they get a call back. And if I tell you that I'm going to do it today, and they still haven't called you, I need you to re-message me again so I can handle it, because my mornings are answering your questions that you have posted the night before. And because we travel so much, I know I get behind on my messages, but I always make sure I look at them. And sometimes I don't respond to them. It's because I want to ask Chris, make sure I get the right answer for you, or I want to reach out to the doctor and make sure that they're understanding what you're asking, because sometimes there's a huge mix-up between the case manager, front desk, and the doctor. So this way, I'm communicating with the doctor on my own. So
yeah, and with that said, let me tell you this. We really appreciate your feedback, even if they're complaints. In fact, I love the complaints. When we were in Orlando yesterday, I told them, we have become the quality control department, and we love it. I love that we've got an audience of people that trust us and follow us and learn from us, and that are comfortable telling us. Like, we get private messages from you saying, hey, I had this problem. I love that, because I'm in Florida and some of these doctors in other states, right? Or even when they're 2 hours away from me, it's hard for me to be on site all the time, and I almost never am. But we have these rules and guidelines, and so we're able to reteach, retrain, give the proper feedback and say, hey, answer your phones, return your messages, and so forth. And so we really appreciate the feedback. We're not offended by it. We freaking love it. Mm-hmm. And our doctors understand not to get butthurt by it, but instead to fix it. So keep it coming, because, again, this is the value of a franchise. I set the rules. I create the parameters with which these doctors treat. I don't tell them how to do that, because I'm not a doctor, but I can tell them what they have to do to make it done right. Okay? I don't think make it done right is the right way to put that. You get the point I'm making. That's the value of the franchise. Yeah. So you should appreciate that. You can go to any independent doctor. You don't know who they are. Like I said, Google them. You'll learn who they are. And you don't know what their compliance, standards are. Most doctors don't even have a compliance manual. Okay. They don't they don't prioritize it. They don't value it.
And we have attorneys over attorneys
Yeah.
over attorneys reviewing our stuff that are
All the
behind
time.
us.
Not to mention,
all the time.
Not to mention the healthcare lawyers for every doctor
Yeah.
that ever signed up with us. When they say, well, do I have time to let my lawyer look over? I said, absolutely. Take all the time you need. I want another set of lawyers' eyeballs on this because it just strengthens our case. So anyways, keep the complaints coming when they happen. We like the praise too. So thank you for that. But we really need the opportunity to fix problems. It happens. Look, we get new receptionists. We get new case managers. We get new therapy assistants. New people come in and need training. And sometimes the training needs to be redone. It happens. It happens with you. Like imagine if you guys were fully trained on what to do when you're hurt at work. You wouldn't need me. You don't know what to do, right? So, but where we're different is we always do training. We are fanatical about training. We're fanatical about compliance, and we're fanatical about education.
Yeah.
And so, as you can see, here we are again for like I don't know how many times we've done this since 2016.
Yeah.
We just keep coming back. And I showed you all the manuals we have. I mean, we got manuals on top of manuals. You wouldn't believe all the training materials we have. And so when I see problems that are coming up more often than others, then those become part of our training manuals.
Yeah.
So anyways, sorry when those things happen, but thank you for the feedback because we like fixing it and we like helping you.
Yeah, I know a lot of you are also messaging me about you guys want T-shirts. Chris is working with our web guy to bring back our gear. Just some things happened. We got
my old site got hacked. And we had to make a decision to crash our site and build a new one.
Yeah.
So the new one's up, and you can get all the books, but all the T-shirts and stuff aren't there. But they'll be back. We're going to work on it.
Yeah, we're gonna get it hopefully by the end of this month, next month.
And I really appreciate that you care about that. That's super cool. And we're working on it.
I know a lot of you guys want the Federal Injury Center's T-shirts. A lot of you guys are asking for the #File a Grievance T-shirt. I think that's going to be a big seller.
I'd like you all to wear it to work.
So, and remember, if you're wearing a T-shirt, have a friend take a picture, and then either you can text it to me or just post it on our Wednesday night chats. Show your support. And then again, those of you that want the Breaking OWCP books, don't forget, go to this website right here, breakingowcp.com. This was the third book. You see, Eric Blowers' name is there because he has a little section.
Yeah, he wrote a chapter on third-party injuries in case you get hurt in a car wreck when you're on the job.
So he put his name on there so he could feel special.
Actually, he is special. This is a guy that I rely on. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So again, next week, those of you that are going from the Bureau Prison nationwide, this is a national convention. We will be there Monday night, Tuesday all day, and probably all day Wednesday, and we fly out at 8:00. So we'll probably be leaving about 6. It is at the Hyatt Regency, Savannah Hyatt Regency in
Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia. And those of you that live in the area and want to come talk to us, you can, because we have a booth and you can come say hello. We will not be bringing any books because it's a lot of stuff we have to package. We will be bringing these. These are magnets. So
we love it if you pass them out and take them to your workstation, your break rooms, and put them up so other people know that Wednesday night OWCP chats is a thing that they can come watch.
Yeah. So if anybody's in the area, it doesn't matter what agency you're with, you can just come by and chat with us. And we'd love to see you guys. And don't forget, the following week, August 24th, we will be in Cottonwood Heights, Salt Lake City area to do the open house meet and greet with Dr. Wood. So we're looking forward to that, seeing all of my good people in Utah. And go get some go horseback riding after. So can we get the magnet via mail or order some? How many just message me.
Yeah, send us a message.
We can work on that. Give me one of the magnets again. So this is what it has all of our information on, so you guys could see. And these, they can just stick up on your lockers or wherever.
Yeah, so, I'm happy to send you some.
Yeah, we will definitely do that. And again, we are traveling up until October. That's what I have set for my calendar. We are traveling every week. So check out our posts on Wednesday night OWCP chats. Yeah, just go ahead and message. If anybody wants these magnets, they're just magnets. You can go on it, whatever, can stick to it. message me with your address and where to send them and about how many you want, and we'll get them over to you guys.
Yep.
I'd like to pass them out at work. Oh, okay, not a problem. So that's what we have going on. Savannah next week, Texas as well as next week. We're going to be there Friday, Saturday, come back home Sunday. And then Utah the following week. And then we take a week off, I think. And then we start again. So we have a ton of open houses coming up. Don't forget, check the posts. I will post it again tomorrow. Check again for all the new office locations coming fall 2022. And Joe is working on getting another set by the end of the year. You know, my goal in the company was to get 100 offices by the end of the year, but it's super hard. So we're still working on it.
We've had to remove some people from the franchise too, because we only allow the highest quality of offices, and if they can't meet the standards, you know, we don't keep them.
Yeah,
it's how it goes. We require everyone to work at a very high level and maintain very high standards.
Yeah.
When they're not able to do that, then they don't get to stick around. That's the way it goes.
So this is a franchise. We own the franchise, and you know, bringing doctors on is not an easy thing. Joe works his tail off getting these doctors on board, and all of our staff works so hard training and just getting paperwork done with them. So please be patient. No matter what, tell us where you want a location. We'll get it to Joe, and yeah. And don't forget, the Federal Injury Centers of Orlando will be ready to see patients August 22nd. Victor, that's your cue. And you can go ahead and give them a call from now. They are taking phone calls. They are doing the intake over the phone and scheduling you guys for that starting the week of August 22nd, which they got a few new patients already from yesterday and today. So we're really proud of them.
We're just finishing up getting the the right equipment that's needed in the office. They hired a new nurse practitioner today, a new massage therapist today. And so things are really moving in the right direction really rapidly now. So we're really excited about that, and they're very excited. You're going to love the office. You're going to love the staff. They're such nice people.
Yeah, Jacksonville, Florida will be coming fall 2022, and that doctor has 3 locations in Jacksonville.
Actually, maybe sooner. I mean, maybe, but
yeah.
Well, fall is like September, October.
Yeah,
it'll be here.
So
that is sooner.
By September, we should have them ready to go. Victor, thank you for. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So with that said, everybody, want to say thank you. We're sorry to Dr. Rob. We had a little bit of computer issues, and
so I think what needed to happen
LinkedIn.
is I needed to restart my computer for whatever problem. But we're live on my computer, so if I restart it, we're all done.
We can't do it. Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, Dr. Rob. Maybe next time.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for being on YouTube and all the other Facebook pages. And if we didn't answer your questions tonight, go ahead and send us a message on Messenger. We will see you guys again. We won't be on next week because we'll be traveling by plane at 8 o'clock. So
they don't let us go live on airplanes.
Yeah, but we'll be filming and going live while we're at the convention next week, just to kind of give you some snippets.
So we'll see you then. Yep. Everyone have a good week. Thanks for being here. Tell your friends to be back next week. Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Gini.
Bye, everyone.